Hey everybody, welcome back. I'd like to say it's good to see you, but it is good to see you even from this distance, and I miss you. We are here for our story time. I have my offering. I hope that you are keeping your offering at home in a cup, because when you come back, we are going to be able to use our monies to buy barnyards and to send them to people who need that. So, how are you today? Are you thumbs up? Are you thumbs down? Or are you thumbs to the side? Me, thumbs up day. The sun is shining, the snow is gone, and it is beautiful out, isn't it? I hope you are finding all sorts of reasons to have a thumbs up or a double thumbs up kind of day. And if you're not, if you're having a thumbs down day, know I'm praying for you and can't wait to see you again. Today, for our story, we are going to use the story circle. Now, some of you have gotten a chance to use the story circle before when you come to milestones. So this is the way it works. We're going to put our candle on the story circle, and we're going to light it. And remember, when we light our candle, that means we're taking our time to talk about God and Jesus and their story. But also because Jesus is the light of the world, right? Now, this story takes place right after Jesus dies. And what the people believe when Jesus dies on the cross is that the light of the world is gone. They believe it is gone away. And so what they're left with is sadness and the cross, and people are hiding and they're leaving the city of Jerusalem because they're afraid and worried. And so there are two men, and what we know about them is we know that they're friends of the disciples, and they are walking along the path, and they are headed for a town called Emmaus. And on their road, they are talking, and they're sad. They can't believe what has happened. Well, all of a sudden, along the road, another man comes and he walks along with them. And he says, "What are you talking about?" And they say, "You know what? We are so sad. Do you not know what has been happening in Jerusalem?" And they told him all about what happened to Jesus. And then they said, and then the women in our group, they go to the tomb and they find out that he is not there. And they run back and tell the disciples, and the disciples run to the tomb, and Jesus seems to be gone. And we are so brokenhearted. And Jesus says, "But don't you remember what you've been taught? That the Son of God will die and will rise again on the third day." And they walk along, and Jesus talks about all of this stuff. Now, they don't know that this is Jesus. So they get to a town, and there is an inn at that town, and they're going to stop, and they're going to have a meal. And the man, Jesus, who we know it is, goes along the path like he's going to continue on. And they say, "Hey, why don't you stay? And why don't you have dinner with us?" Well, Jesus agrees. And so they go and they sit at the table. Yep, they sit right there. And the people who are waiting on them bring some bread in a basket. And you know what Jesus does? He takes the bread and he gives thanks and he breaks the bread. And it's right at that moment that the two men recognize who Jesus is. And you know what the Bible tells us after that? That right after that, Jesus disappears and is gone. And the men are so excited that they run right back to the town of Jerusalem. They run right back to the town of Jerusalem, and they go to the disciples, and they tell the disciples that the light of the world that we thought was gone is alive, and we saw him, and he talked about God, and our hearts were burning when he talked about the scriptures. That's the place where God's story is held in the Bible. And were not our hearts burning? Isn't that an interesting phrase? I wonder what that might mean. Maybe that their hearts were joyful. Yeah, maybe that their hearts were burning with joy. And so I wonder today, what makes our hearts burn? And can you find places where Jesus is showing you wonderful things out in the world? Until we're together again, know I'm praying for you. I miss you, and I hope, again, it's a double thumbs up kind of day. Bye.